Welcome back to Sports Wrap Live, everybody. We are here at Junction Bar and Grill, 160 West Gray in the shadow of downtown Houston, man. The Rapp Pack is in the building. A lot of familiar faces here, a lot of new faces, man. We appreciate that. And we're gonna bring you guys some breaking news, top of the hour, about some performances going on here in Houston. But right now, you know, we got to get back into some football. We just had a great long segment about basketball, NBA to college.
And we're going to have all the games once again on 790 all throughout March Madness. It's going to be there if you're at work. Get that iHeartRadio app and you can hear all the games. Absolutely.
You'll be able to hear us from the Final Four in New Orleans coming up here the end of March into the 1st of April. But you're going to be able to hear the guys all week long. Of course, tomorrow, tune into the big show. First thing when you get up and wipe the cold out your eye. Listen to the big show. They're out there in Indy from Radio Row representing Sports Talk 790.
Who did I send you a link to this week, Adam, that was getting some run on Deadspin?
I'm so glad you brought that up. Our boy Adam Wexler.
Yeah, they were following around one of those lady reporters from Mexico. I know before it had been, what is it, Anise Sainz or whatever? She was getting some run. I apologize on the is it Sainz?
That's okay. What's your last name?
Martinez.
You should be able to pronounce that.
Yeah,
so that's all I gotta say.
But yeah, she was getting some run, in the past Super Bowls whenever she was following them around, and also with the Jets. But they were following this other reporter around, so the guys at 790 were getting some good buzz.
Very good, very good. And of course, Charlie Palillo is going to have his Super Bowl preview show coming up on Sunday. Looking forward to that. Check sports790.com for all the information about all the shows, and go to sportswraplive.com. That's Rap with 2 P's to see our videos, our podcasts, our blog posts, whatever it may be. All our great sponsors out there, of course. But hey, let's get into some other football-related topics to close out this hour, Andrew. Coming out of Indianapolis this week. Of course, they all revolve around the man that's been the Hall of Fame quarterback in Indy for the last 13 years, Peyton Manning. He's apparently going to have to take his ball and go somewhere else to play, not Lucas Field.
Well, I think it's just a perfect storm of, for the Colts, they're actually fortunate that they're in this position where they're going to get Andrew Luck. I heard it referred to as a lottery ticket that they have to cash, and I agree. Because just thinking about what they've done, Adam, they've let go of their coach, let go of their GM. They've pretty much found a new defensive coordinator, which means they're going to go to a 3-4 with this new system. They're kind of scrapping everything. I read today that they're probably going to try and keep Garcon and probably one of their other DNs. But other than that, they're pretty much going to try and rebuild the whole thing. I think Peyton Manning realizes, and I think Jim Irsay, from his comments this week that I've heard, it sounds like they're ready to move on.
Yeah, up till last night. He had a big dinner as being the host city of the Super Bowl in Indianapolis, which is the first time Indy's gotten one, and they've gotten some really good weather. The weather there has been pretty phenomenal from what I hear compared to Dallas last year, which was like -9 degrees with ice and rain.
I just hope they don't have another situation with the Super Bowl where they're trying to get fans into seats and the fans got displaced last year. That kind of gave a black eye to Jerry Jones for a little while until the game got started.
Well, a lot of that was because of the Jerry World malfunctions with ice coming through the roof and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. All right, well, hey, we know the Colts they're a lock to take Andrew Luck, #1 overall. But let's slide into the Texans, who are sitting at number 26, and it's really their lowest draft pick in team history. How does this team get much-needed value out of the number 26 pick?
Well, Rick Smith has done an incredible job on drafting young talent that has really helped out. If you look at the defense this past year, Adam, Brooks Reed made a big impact. J.J. Watt made a huge impact. I think, the acquisitions of Arian Foster and some of these other guys. I think that Rick Smith, I feel pretty confident in him as a GM. Before I think that people really didn't know who the GM was, but I think that now that we saw this latest draft class come through, I think that they're on the up and up, and I think that this team is one that's going to continue to prosper, mostly because of these great young players that we have.
All right, so if Rick Smith calls you, Andrew, and says, Mr. Martinez, I'd like your insight on where and what we should take at the number 26 pick.
I would say if we can get a wide receiver in free agency, then we don't need one. But if we cannot get one for the right price, and that's going to also factor in with Mario Williams, if we're going to bring him back or whatnot. But I think if we let Mario go, that money can be more well spent in the free agency market, and then we can get some wide receivers. I've touted the guy from Baylor, the wide receiver, a couple of guys out there that I like. But I think a wide receiver, someone that can help Andre, because if you watch that last playoff game, the interception, the first one to Andre, was because he was forcing the ball on him. He ended up with 10 catches. We need someone else that can help him. And it also showed when Andre was hurt for so long during the season that we need someone else that can help him out. So I would go wide receiver and probably defensive back.
Well, okay. In free agency, how would you be interested in a certain backup quarterback who grew up here in H-Town, wore number 10 there for a long time, and won a national championship with the UT Longhorns against the much heavily favored USC Trojans? Of course, I'm talking about VY.
VY?
VY, baby, Vince Young.
I think that would be a very interesting and fan favorite. You know, he's a fan favorite of Houston for sure. If you're out at the H-Town Seeker Summit, you saw the kind of attention he brought. I don't know, though, what it would do to the locker room, because in a lot of cities, the fan favorite quarterback is the backup quarterback. And I think if Schaub were to falter or even get hurt again, which he has been prone to do, that there would be a lot of people, you know, chirping and a lot of buzz about, like, hey, we need Vince in there, we need Vince in there. And I don't want what Schaub's been doing to overshadow that. And it's Schaub's last year. And we've been talking about how great Yates was. I think before, you know, what we're about to talk about with Vince, I think we all thought that Yates might be the heir apparent. Maybe one more year of mentoring that he would be able to get in there. And if he brought in Vince, I don't know what that would do. And the other thing is, Vince didn't really have a spectacular time in Philadelphia. He left on a sour note from Tennessee, a very sour note. There were a lot of questions there. And from Philly, I didn't really see enough to make me think that he would be an elite level guy. I think he would certainly be better than Leinart, though.
Yeah, and you know, you got to be confident as an NFL quarterback. You've got to believe in your skills. You've got to believe.
I appreciate someone wanting to come home, though. I'm always a fan of any story where a guy's coming back home to where he's from. And I think that Vince needed that away time to start his NFL career, because I think if he had stayed here, he might have got caught up in a lot of that hometown of his still homies trying to hang out with and the life that he was leading. But it's interesting.
Very nice, very nice. Well, hey, let's take it to the phones, Andrew. We'll take our first caller of the night. Of course, I have to send a very special shout out to this follower on Twitter at SportsRappLive. That's Rapp with 2 P's, because this man right here was our 1,000th follower on Twitter, and his name is SportsMK. What's up, my man? How are you tonight? Ha. MK, let me ask you something then. With the backup quarterback, okay, Matt Schaub has proven that he cannot stay healthy for an entire season, except for one season, minus one season. Now, is that more of a concern than Matt Schaub making mistakes?
Well, the thing about that is by saying also Matt Schaub has proven how much he has proven that he stayed healthy with Super Bowl conditions. So they don't go work now to look at the matchup. Okay, you can't get it into the thing. One more year, and OTA, so we got outside of 2. We won't get it.
Sports MK. Right, right. Well, hey, Sports MK, thanks for tuning in. We have a nice prize package for being our 1,000th follower, of course, on Twitter. And you know what? It was just great to sit down with VY and talk to him, man. You know, the guy's just a competitor. He wants to play football. Maybe it's not here. Maybe it's in Dallas.
Adam, do we have that? Do we have that clip? Are we gonna play that?
We do. Maybe we'll play it after the at the top of the hour.
Okay.
I just want to find out exactly where that clip is. But you know what? We're gonna be here for another hour. It seems like this first hour's been packed already. We've had Bun B giving us you know, a little Super Bowl insight. He just got back from New York. We've had Maurice Bob on. We're gonna give away some tickets later on, of course. Authentic Snoopy's in the building. We're gonna get into that in just a little bit. But man, we have a very, very special track from my man Buku One. Of course, you heard him on Sports Rap Live on Sunday at the H-Town Sneaker Summit when we did our All-Star Rapper Draft. We're going to get into that on Sunday when we're here waiting for this Super Bowl to be over about our picks.
It was a very interesting little draft we had. We had a lot of people that wanted to be in it, but it ended up just being a few of us. But I thought it was a very interesting draft as to who we all picked. And this track from Buku One it's really good. I heard it.
I can't wait to play
I
it.
was very excited about it.
So we'll go to the top of the hour for our station identification, of course, here on the iHeartRadio and Sports Talk 790. And then we'll come back and get into that and so much more right here on Sports Rap Live.